Good afternoon and welcome to the February 20th, 2024 Board of Works and Public Safety. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I'll lead it. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
and have a seat. I don't see Mike here, so. I'd like to welcome everyone and remind you, please turn your cell phones off. We'll begin with roll call.
Brian Doub. Becky Gibson.
Here.
Diana Phillips. Present. Jim Barrett.
So everyone have the minutes from the February 5th, 2023 meeting. And first, any additions or corrections to those?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Down below, we have the agreement for the community crossings design and inspection. Brad, you want to come up, sir?
Howdy.
Hello.
So each year Butler Fairman handles the design, getting all the, getting us all lined up to do our paving projects. And then they come in and do some sort of inspection for us on those projects. A lot of years we try to coordinate one or two projects together at the same time that we can combine to have them here all the time where they're close by. But it doesn't look like anything will line up this year. So I'm asking you to approve Butler Fairman's quote for $55,600, and that includes 13 and a half hours a week of inspection in town, and then a 40-hour week at the end during the punch list and the finishing up part. So I never even had a chance to talk to the mayor about this, but you know, we can bump up the amount of inspection if we thought we wanted to, and I guess we could talk about that later if we feel like it's warranted. In the quote, it gave other alternatives for what it would cost if you asked to have them. If you wanted somebody down here full-time, it was like $80,000 extra, which I don't think we need. But it looked like for about $12,000 extra, we could get them for 25 hours instead of 13. But today, $55,600, that includes 13 or so hours of inspection.
I personally think that would be fine, because at 13 hours, the first round is the ADA ramps. That's critical. Make sure those are inspected properly in the mill and the fills and all that stuff, what you can't see.
Now, they'll move that time around within the project. There may be a week when they're just doing milling that maybe they don't feel like they need to be here. So they could double up on the ramp part. So
Ramps are the biggest part of that.
I move to approve the agreement.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
the next thing I wanted to talk to you a minute about. So we're in the middle of the Headworks project, which I've been reporting to you quite a bit about. We're getting down into the last 6 months of the structure's basically built, and we're getting down to it. And other than the dewatering situation and the contamination worries in the beginning, we haven't had any issues. Everything's went very well. So it looks like we're going to have $1.5 million left out of the funds of that project. We also invested all of the funds of this project and hit a very good window of earnings on bonds. And so far we've earned about $920,000 on our funds that were invested and not being used yet. So that gives us about $1.5 million plus $1 million for the interest, which $2.5 million approximately. So we have one more project that is sort of needed at the wastewater plant that would put us in a place where there isn't any big things that have to be done there for a while. What that project is would be to switch out our chlorine gas that we disinfect with to what's called UV, which is basically a big ultraviolet light that disinfects the wastewater if we go to UV, then we can do away with chlorine, which we use 2-ton chlorine cylinders, which are dangerous, not only to the public, but our employees. We would also be able to do away with SO2 that you're required, if you put chlorine in, you have to take it back out before you put it in the river. So both of these chemicals would go away, and as you all know, chemical costs have been going through the roof. They've probably tripled in the last couple of years. So what I would like to do and have your permission to do is to sort of dip our toe into proceeding towards an OCRA grant. Coupled with the funds we have left for this project should just about cover switching out our chlorine gas to UV process at the wastewater plant. I think that I've got Strand working up the preliminary numbers on the costs right now so we can see where we're at, because I know how this goes and I want to make sure it doesn't turn into a $6 million project. But if we can do it with the funds we have and then get an OCRA grant of $700,000 to finish it out, I would like to just head down that road and see if this is something that we can pull off. And I'd like to have your permission to do that.
I would assume that the switch is pretty typical now
Yeah.
compared to the process that's,
Yeah.
okay.
Not only because of chemical costs, but just the safety of those 2-ton cylinders. You know, we're a little ways away from a lot of people, but you know, if we end up doing something with River's Edge and where we end up having a lot of people over there at some point, you know, we're not that far away. Smalley's is just right over across the fence. So, I mean, literally our chlorine room is right there where the Smalley's pond is. So if one of those, you know, it hasn't happened to us, but I've heard of places where like a plug will pop out of one of those and it's just chlorine everywhere. It's very dangerous.
I think it's a good idea.
I do too.
And I'll make a motion, we approve you proceeding ahead, check into financing, what it's gonna take.
I'll second it.
We have a motion, a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Okay, am I next again?
You're on department matter, yep.
Okay, you should have got a paper that listed 2 vehicles with the VIN numbers and everything that we need to dispose of because they have frame issues and such. They're not really something you could trade in or sell and give to somebody else. So I want permission to scrap those vehicles.
I don't see it. I don't either.
You didn't get this one?
Okay.
I'm asking to scrap a 2009 Silverado and a 97 S10, and I'll give Rosemary these VIN numbers and everything.
I didn't get the list of what you were gonna ask to scrap last time either.
Yeah, we're working on it. We haven't got rid of any of that stuff yet.
And a motion to remove a 2009 Chevy Silverado and a 1997 Chevy S10.
And this is from the street or utilities?
I'm sorry,
Utilities.
utilities.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion, second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
I've got an approval to request for trash collection at 208 West 20th. It's Midwest Chiropractic. Basically just switched hands from another chiropractor.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion, second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
So we'll have to skip the next item because the guy didn't come to explain his project for a driveway cut, so we'll move that back to next time.
Okay. Chief Harden.
Hello.
Hello.
We need approval to accept the resignation of Josh Hensley, one of our medics. He took another position. And then also, if you want to do it separately, then also
Separately.
to hire someone in that position. Yet to be determined.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve his request for retirement resignation.
I have a motion for the
Second.
resignation and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Now you need permission to hire, right?
Yeah.
Now I need permission for Clint to advertise for hiring.
Motion
So
to
moved.
approve.
Have a motion second, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Excellent.
We went down to our department reports, Chief Bolos.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So on our January monthly report, overtime, you might notice the figure there. It was partially during Christmas break and Christmas break. And at that time, we were still down 2 officers. Did have a SWAT call out in January. So, gallons of fuel, 2,166 gallons of fuel. On our incident reports for January, we had 36 traffic accidents, probably surpassed that last Friday. Roads were pretty slick. We had several calls of slide-offs inside the city. Our total incidents for January is 850. Any questions on those totals? As far as the department goes, our training hours for January was 149 hours department, 16 hours for K-9 training. We did 4 school searches and 1 demo. Our detectives in January took in 19 new cases. They closed 16 of them, made 5 arrests, and there is currently 3 ICAC cases that are open that they're actively working on. Drugs for January is 22 grams of marijuana, 5 grams of heroin, fentanyl, 17 meth, 65 pills, and 15 needles. And just so everybody knows, we went and picked our vehicles up a couple Fridays ago, and we're just waiting for all the equipment to come in. So who knows how long that will be. It would be nice to get those on the road also. And while I'm up here, Rosemary made it aware to me that the basement's full of clutter, and it's mostly police department clutter, old radios, old electronic equipment that we haven't used in 20 plus years. So I'm just asking permission to clean that out and get rid of them. No use, I mean, we're just gonna trash it.
Motion to approve. They've been here longer than I have been.
Second. How long have you been here?
8 years.
There's no salvage value to them.
No,
No.
I mean, they're pretty old stuff.
So did I hear a motion and a second?
Yes.
Okay, I have a motion second, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Randy, come up, sir.
Hello.
Ready, sir?
All right, ordinance officer report for January 2024. During the month of January, there were 46 separate ordinance violations that I addressed. 21 of those relating to accumulation of trash and rubbish. 12 expired plates, abandoned vehicles, or demolition derby cars that we got corrected. 6 parking positions. Everyone seems to think that it's okay to park in between the curb and the sidewalk, which it is not. So anyone who's watching, please understand that if you will probably get cited, because those are things that we've got to address and get people parking back the correct way. 2 interior furnitures outside the homes, 1 vehicle obstructing a sidewalk, 1 dilapidated building, 1 prohibited signage, 1 vehicle obstructing the street, and 1 request for public information. Last month I talked about focus areas and first impression streets as we're coming into Connersville. And the majority of those violations came out of Sector 1 of the focus area tours that I began last month. I'll be wrapping that first sector up within the next week and issuing the final citations and notices to get things corrected before the fines start coming out for those who are in non-compliance. Hopefully next week, if I can get all that wrapped up, I'll immediately begin on the first section of the First Impressions Tour, which I'm going to start on Central Avenue from 1st to 17th Street. And we're going to work on a thoroughfare down through town. All right. ride through it, take a look at both private properties as well as commercial properties, and see what we can do to get some things taken care of and help beautify the city.
Any questions?
Very good.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Director Colter.
As you can see, I've got about 10 reports to go over, but I'm going to keep most of it pretty brief. On my monthly reports, with the utility report, just some of the highlights. Picture, sir. Picture, sir. Yeah. How about that one of the well drilling? So this is a picture, I've been talking to you about the new well that we're drilling. This is a test well. We've also they've been up there working, abandoning the old well that we have decommissioned. This is just, they were in there over the last few weeks doing a test drill for the hydrological survey. And that thing's moving forward. All the contractors had a meeting up there over the last few weeks and start getting a plan lined out so that we can get a good solid number on what everything's going to cost, who's doing what, and I'll be reporting back to you on that here pretty shortly. I just took a couple of pictures of me out riding around the other night. I don't know how many of you were out in that, but that was probably one of the most, wasn't but 3 or 4 inches of snow, but that was one of the most significant events we've had with snow in a long time. The police department in particular, I was listening to them on the radio, they did an outstanding job of trying to keep people moving on the streets. I heard somebody say at one time that people were lined up halfway to Glenwood out on 44 trying to get up those hills and couldn't. And I know the police did an excellent job, and the snow got ahead of us, no doubt, on Friday night. You couldn't keep up with it. But I felt like we caught up about 8 or 9 o'clock that night, and the street department did an outstanding job, I thought, of by mid-morning Saturday, you could get out and drive around pretty good. And with an assist from the sun that afternoon, got us in pretty good shape again. But that was a big deal. That was a really treacherous little 3-hour window or so there, I think, for people. Is there any other good pictures in there? I'm going to give you a good report on the headworks at the next meeting, because I am missing a few pictures that I hadn't sent to John, but that gives you that big hole in the ground is just about finished. That'll hold 1 million gallons. These 2 pictures were just of a couple of trainings that we had. We had Mike put together an 811 training, and several of the outside utilities came and listened to 811 give reports about the best way to call dig-ins and do that properly. Yep. Is that it? Yep. Okay. The other thing I wanted to tell you at the utilities, I've got on here the biosolids report, which is our land application permit renewal was in progress, but I saw over the weekend that was approved. So that's a 10-year permit behind us now. We don't have to, as long as we don't have any problems. Also, the Wheeling brothers came in and applied 237 gallons of sludge from our storage at the wastewater plant and put it out on farm fields. Anybody have any questions? So my annual reports, I sent you a copy of my ADA report, a copy of my compost site report, the street department report, and the annual report for the transfer station. And at the next meeting, we'll have a nice utility year-end report for you. Anybody have any questions about any of those? Pretty exciting stuff. Thank you.
Thank you.
Director Palsy.
For the month of January, we had 6 hours, 34 minutes of media production, 18 hours, 15 minutes of original production. Total views on YouTube for the month, 11,056 views with 2,045 viewing hours, and we're at 3,520 subscribers. So lots of views, people are paying attention. For the annual report, did you guys receive that okay?
No.
Yes.
There's a lot of information in there. I kind of throw everything in the annual report. But you'll notice on the first page that last year was our 25th anniversary. So
John, I didn't get it.
I didn't either.
You didn't get a report?
I don't think I got either one. I can't find
I
either
didn't get
one.
one either.
Well, I will chastise somebody probably. So, I'll quickly read through it. We had, for the last year, 567 total annual programs. We produced 306 produced hours. And then we break down all the meetings that we do for those next 2 pages, and I'll get that report over to you guys. As well as the library series. We do several different series for them for the year. And then we produce weekly programming, sports report, and of course, we also do the TV3 Volt, which is some of the program we've done over the last 25 years. We bring that back so people can take a look at what happened 20 years ago and think this is usually pretty interesting. The next 2 pages are events that we produce, and you'll notice we do a lot of sports production on there as well. And then we do a breakdown on our total YouTube views and Facebook information as well. The next pages are all on our annual budget and how we did. And basically, it really breaks it down for you, but we came in under budget, which is always our goal. So, and to try and meet our income. And then the final page, which you did not get, but I will get it to you, is our annual photo compilation. And you'll notice there at the top is the mayor, who joined us for football production, actually helped us out. We love that because that was a lot of help. Sometimes we have students that can help, and sometimes they're not available, and so we always try to fill in camera positions when we can. So I will get that report to you as soon as I can. Any questions?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
sir.
you.
Chief Harden.
So everyone should have a copy of my January 2024 report. Answered 324 calls for service, which is, first month of the year, so for the year to date, 324 calls, so. Did promote one person, had one EMT retire, promoted a part-time to fill that position. And then we did have the one resignation that you approved today with a replacement hiring. You see my fuel usage, fuel tax rebate. Did do a pre-build meeting for the second new ambulance that we're supposed to get this year. That's where you just go through and make sure everything that you wanted is exactly the way you want it. It's about 18 pages. It takes about 3 hours because you go line by line by line by line. And there's places where it's like, well, this piece that you want isn't going to go with this design, so you may have to tweak stuff and change stuff just a little bit so that everything will work correctly. So, and also during January, I put on 2 new part-time people, so that's good. We really use a lot of part-time help. That really helps us out a lot, especially going into heavy vacation seasons. That really saves us. So, does anybody have any questions on the monthly report?
I just got one quick question.
Yeah.
On the retiree, that was a paramedic, or the guy that left?
The guy that left was a paramedic, yes.
Okay. So you're gonna try to replace him with a paramedic?
That would be my goal. To hire from outside with a paramedic is very, very difficult. So, on my yearly report, we had one more person graduate last year.
Right.
I've got 2 that are in school right now with another slated to start within the next month.
Okay.
So it may be such a thing as hiring an EMT because I've got the people in the pipeline to become paramedics. So that is probably the route I'll take because hiring outside medics to get them to come in is pretty difficult.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
Makes sense.
anybody else have any questions on monthly? So I know there's a lot of information in the yearly report, so I put a lot of different stuff in there. I'm just going to kind of hit bullet points. We had 3,858 calls for service, which was 22 calls down from 2022. Over 48,000 miles, actually 48,081, which was up 514 over last year. We were under budget, brought in $1.02 million, which was up about 20% year over year from 2022. We still do have the 2 ambulances on order. You can kind of see a lot of training, a lot of devices, a lot of equipment that we've added, most of which has been with grants. So that has been a huge thing. A lot of radio training in preparation for the 800 switchover, which we did complete last week. We went live with the 800 system last week. We're still working some kinks out, some bugs out, but we did make the switch over, and it seems to be going smoothly at this point. We had probably the first in I don't know how many years. It kind of got nixed during COVID. Active shooter training. That was the first time that we had participated in that, probably 5 or 6 years. And all the agencies, all the city agencies participated in that, and that was a very good training, really brought to light our weaknesses and where we need to up our game. So, and that's a work in progress. Had over 700 man hours, in-person education. We also have several online education sources, and that's not including those, where we pay for it and it's on demand. So you can go in, you can take a course, you take a test, and it prints you a certificate. I would say hundreds upon hundreds of hours with that. The other thing just that I always get, oh, well, it's Saturday, you guys are busy. Yeah, that's not necessarily the case. If you look back, it's way back, about halfway, where we break it down by days. Our busiest days are this past year was Wednesday and Thursday, which it's usually Tuesday and Thursday, but Wednesday and Thursday this year was our busiest days. So weekends Sunday is way down the list, Saturday's right above Sunday. So just kind of interesting that everybody thinks weekends are busy, and I guess maybe depending on if you run a place where you had a large influx of people, like let's say Indianapolis, where there's a lot of ball games and stuff on the weekend, I could see that, but here we don't get that. So Wednesday and Tuesday are our 2 busiest days. Does anybody have any questions on the yearly report? I know there's a lot of information in there, and if you're reading it, nighttime reading to fall asleep, and you come up with something, shoot me an email, shoot me a text. I'm more than happy to answer anything you have. So.
I just thought it's really interesting. I mean, it's broken down by just about anything you could break it down by. Gender, ages. Yeah. I just thought it was interesting.
Yeah. And I always find it interesting, and I always watch how many patients we have that are over 100. Mm-hmm. I watch that. That's actually up. We've actually got more now that are over 100. So
9.
Yeah, and the other thing, and I did not break it out by this, but the last 2 years, every patient that was over 100 was not male. So I don't know, okay. We don't live quite as long, or we do stupid stuff, but the women outlive us in that over 100
You really
state.
want the answer to that.
Yeah, so. But yeah, it's broken down by about anything you want. If you wanted to know percentage of medications given, I can break it down that far, but I think that's getting too far into the weeds, even for me, really. So, if no one has any questions, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Superintendent Steele.
Good afternoon.
So I'm working to see if I can get some pictures to show you, but I'll go ahead and go through my report. So we are currently still taking applications for lifeguards. I've set a goal of 25 lifeguards that will hopefully be able to pass their class and everything. So we're almost to 20. So that is a huge plus. So I told my staff that I'd buy them ice cream if they get to 25. So I'm hoping that we reach that. We're also taking part-time summer maintenance help as well, applications for that. And moving on down, we have been meeting with HWC Engineering. We received a grant, it was actually through the foundation. They applied for it, the foundation receives that grant, and then we are able to use that money, and I reported last month that we are going to use it for our 5-year park plan. And so we're working with HWC on that master plan. And we are currently doing a survey. When I typed this up, it hadn't been posted yet, but you've probably seen it. I sent an email to all of you. We would like for that to be shared. It will be up through April, and we would like as many participants as possible. So if you could just encourage everyone to fill out that survey, that's going to help us know what community members want to see out of the Parks Department, and then we'll be able to use the information from that survey and help us plan the 5-year comprehensive plan. For the links, we've shared that on Facebook. It will be in the newspaper. We are sharing it at the high school, at the middle school. We're sharing it through the city's links as well. And so it's going to be up throughout the whole city. We are also going to be holding a public meeting on March 12th from 6 to 7 at the Miller Building in the banquet hall. And this is going to, HWC will be leading this meeting, and they are going to be discussing the comprehensive plan that we're going to be doing. They're going to discuss the survey. They'll ask for, I think they may have comment cards on the tables or something so that people can leave their comments as well. So that's going to be open to the public, and that's on March 12th. We are currently doing interviews for the pool concessions as well, and we will end that at the end of this month. And then I met with Jessica and Brian from the Reed Community Benefits, and we are going to establish a partnership with them as far as them helping us to offer services for different things that we do with the Parks Department. So Living Well, Aging Well, our Discovery Camp, youth sports programming, community events could all potentially be a part of their partnership in helping us. And they will provide educational services. They could provide some financial support for us and community outreach and any other areas that they see fit. So I'm filling out just like a spreadsheet of some requests that we have, and they're going to see where they can help us in that process. So we're really excited about that partnership and look forward to working with them. David Caldwell with Fayette Soil and Water received a grant through our EMC, and those services that he's going to use that money to provide services to John Connor Nature Preserve. They've been working in there pulling up invasive species and doing some cleanup in different areas. So they're going to use some of that money to provide seed coverage in John Connor. So I just wanted to let everyone know about that. Were you able to do those pictures? Can you do the other one? Well, we can show these right now. So this was next on my list anyway. So just pick a couple. Yeah, go ahead and pick that one. That one's fine. So we had the Career Center work with us in building some picnic tables. So when they were finished, before we went and picked them up, they chose to do this fancy design to represent what they did for us in building their picnic table. So I thought I'd share that. It's a lot of fun. And then the next ones are about our Living Well, Aging Well program. That has been going on for the month of February. We got it started. We've been offering cards and conversations, which has been a lot of fun. We've taught them different card games and activities. And then we have shuffleboard. The guys were helping us set this up and testing it out for us. But show one. Oh, this is pickleball. We offer pickleball in the, once a week in the mornings. We had probably 20 attend that session. pick the 2011 one. Yeah. This is our shuffleboard participation. So we have shuffleboard again today, and they've been having a lot of fun with these different activities. It's been well attended. They are all going, they're all leaving saying that they're going to, show that very bottom one, saying that they're going to go home and tell their friends, and this is another game of, I think they were playing euchre. So those are some activities that we have them participating in. You did receive, I believe, a calendar in your packet. This is for the month of March, and all the activities we're going to be offering for Living Well, Aging Well. And we did, a question that's been presented to me is, have we reached out to the senior center? Yes, we have. They are very excited about the opportunities that we're offering at the Miller Building. They even said that they may get a van together and bring some over to the Miller Building to participate in our activities. And what they really liked about it is that we're offering activities in the gym because they don't have those services. And so they love the shuffleboard, the pickleball, the walking, they love that being offered. One question's been asked, is walking for any age? Yes, over the age of 18. It's open all week long as we are open, and the gym is not being rented. Anybody can come and walk, but we do promote a walking club for Living Well, Aging Well. So we also are partnering with Purdue Extension, and they're offering one class a month to teach anyone that wants to come participate. And it's mainly on nutrition, the current classes that they're teaching. And then next month we are going to be offering, in addition to everything else, line dancing and chair yoga. So those are some new activities that we're going to participate in. Did you get the other pictures?
No, they didn't.
Okay.
They were not compatible.
Okay, so I just wanted to show, we did some cleanup in the ball fields. We had a storm in January blew over one of the dugouts, so we cleaned that up. And then we've had a lot of issues with one of our restrooms. Oh, there. So this is where the restroom was standing. This is the after effect. I'm glad we tore it down. When he went with the tractor, he just went and nudged it, and it cracked and just already started to fall. So we decided to go ahead and take it down all the way. And so they've been last week they worked on, okay, it's not gonna work. Last week they've been working on cleaning up that dugout, and then they took down that restroom. It's one at the very back that didn't get used last year. Yeah, here they are tearing it down. We've had a lot of homeless in there, and a lot of vandalism and everything. So there is a main restroom up by the concession stand area that will be able to be used. So we went ahead and took that down. Soccer, t-ball, softball, and baseball registrations are going on right now, and there were flyers that were sent home to all of the elementary schools. Let's see. Logan did attend a camp summit, and it was information. It was a day training on kids camps, summer camps, and so that went really well. One thing that he took from that, among other things, is that there's another park that offers junior counselors for age 13 and 14-year-olds. They get a discounted rate to attend, so they pay the registration fee and they pay the daily fee for attending, but it's discounted. But then they get to come in and be a junior counselor, go alongside the high school counselors that work with the youth, get to see the ins and outs of being a counselor. So then when they turn 15, 16, maybe they would be interested in coming and working for us as a counselor. So it gives them a head start, if you will, and allows them to get the insides of how Discovery Camp is ran. So that's something that we may look into adding at some point. if, I think it would be well attended, and we would go through an interview process probably, or figure something out, but he really liked that idea, thought that was a great idea to add to Summer Discovery, so we may do that in the future. And then Grace became certified in lifeguard management. That was a really good class for her to participate in as well. Some upcoming dates real quick is March 21st, our Bunnies and Brownies. We did this last year and it was well attended. So we're gonna do it again this year. So March 21st at the Miller Building from 5 to 7. We're gonna add a breakfast and bunny painting on March 23rd from 9 to 11. And then we have the April 8th eclipse. We're going to have parking available at the racetrack at the Roberts Park along with the soccer complex. We will have glasses for sale. We don't have them quite yet, but we will have glasses. And then our concessions will be open in both of those locations. The Elders Lunch will be on May 16th. And then our public meeting is March 12th.
And what were the times again on March 12th?
6 to 7
Okay.
at the Miller Building. Does anybody have any questions?
With the Living Well and Aging Well program, is it a come and go? Do they need to register?
They don't need to register. It is a come and go as you wish. And we do have the option that they could go online and register through our app, but it's not something that they have to do. We do keep numbers though. They sign in when they attend so that we can track that. We did receive a grant last year from Reed, so we want to be able to report back to them how many are participating in this program. This will also help us in the future with possible grants or just seeing how many are participating. We are going to do a public or an open forum once a month, like a monthly meeting for them to attend, and they can give their feedback, what they would like, if they want to see any new activities or anything like that. They're going to be able to come share that information with us.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else?
Thanks.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mama.
Chief Jones.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
The monthly report for January for the Connersville Fire Department. We'll start off with the overtime. We had a total of $4,253.92. The manpower shortage portion of that was $3,605.20, and the FLSA scheduled overtime was $648.72. Moving on down to fuel usage, we used 392 gallons of fuel for the month for a total of $1,443.53. Incidents for the month of January, we had a total of 190 incidents. 29 of those were fire incidents, 152 EMS related incidents, and we had 9 auto accidents. On the next page, training hours, we had a total of 48 and a half total instructed hours of training for the month. 35 and a half of those was fire classes, and 13 of those were EMS classes. And below that, we had a total of 17 inspections, fire inspections for the month. One thing I will add, that's all I have for that report, one thing I will add that I didn't put on there, we did have our visit finally from our ISO inspector last Wednesday. It went well. He wasn't here very long, he usually marks off the whole day and was only here for a couple hours. We had everything pretty much prepared for him. I feel like that we improved in a lot of places. I think dispatch improved, and then he didn't even have to go to the water department because we had everything ready for him, so he was, seemed like he was pretty impressed. I'm pretty happy, feel pretty good about it, but we'll wait and see. He says it takes about 4 to 6 months to come back with our updated score, so hopefully it comes back good. Any questions?
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody have any old business? Miscellaneous business? Claims.
Claims for February 20th, 2024 city is $443,207.07. Payroll, $961,792.74. Utilities, $514,845.55.
Motion to approve the claims.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carried. We went out of the public. Anybody out there, Brad, you see anybody? If not, I'll take a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Have a good afternoon.